I got to the point where my choice was simple. As the line from Shawshank Redemption film said, get busy living or get busy dying. And I really didn't know how to get busy living because we were in lockdown. All facilities, all disabled services had ended. There was no points of contact. I was ringing and ringing Bluestone at Craigavon Hospital, trying to get mental health care, trying to get help, and no one was even answering the phones. And I thought, there's nobody out there, there's nobody that cares. And my whole mind, my life just seemed to get darker and darker, and I just thought, I'm on the precipice, and it's go one way or go the other. And then I was contacted by Jason from Northern Ireland Housing Executive. Actually, I was at a funeral when he phoned me, and he said, then, can we arrange for me to come out with your tablet? And because of the circumstances I was in, I thought he meant something to do with meds. Didn't quite grasp. And anyway, he arrived then with this most amazing Lenovo 10-inch tablet with a hard case and keyboard, and I cried my eyes out. I absolutely cried my eyes out, and I couldn't believe that someone actually cared so much that they provided something like that to somebody like me for free. And the only commitment was a 6-week training course with the Onside Project to learn how to use it, which I was more than happy to do. In fact, I was delighted to do it because it felt like humanity. This little black screen lit up with people's faces who very quickly became familiars, and some of which to this day still count as friends. And you had the choice of doing the courses or joining the social groups. And I didn't have the courage to join the social groups, but I was very interested in some of the courses. And one in particular, which was a creative writing course under Peter Kearns, was an absolute opener for me. It gave me something that I didn't previously have anymore, which was the ability to actually write down my feelings and my thoughts. And it seemed to activate my brain again, which was a dead zone. It really and truly was a dead zone. I would have to describe myself at that stage as a walking coma. There was nothing in me but a heartbeat and pain. And it was just a circle: pain, pain avoidance, pain management, medication, pain. And it just kept going round and round. And I'd gotten to the stage where my mind couldn't cope anymore with it. It really had shut down. And of course, no one could call to see you. There was no visitors, there was no nothing. So that Lenovo tablet became my window to the world. It became a place where people understood you without even needing to hear your story. You had complete and utter equality. You didn't feel like you're better than me or you're different to me. You felt absolutely and utterly normal for the first time in a lot of years. I felt like a human being. I felt like I mattered and that people cared. Our funding ran out in November of last year, and officially the project ended. But because us service users know its value, know its importance, and know what it does, we couldn't let it end. So some of us volunteers stepped up, and we, including myself, are now actually running Onside Group, as we call ourselves, because officially the actual Onside Project ended. So we are now Onside Group, and we have a men's group and a ladies group, and we're open to all. We're completely inclusive. We're cross-border. We also have mixed sessions. We have quiz evenings. We currently have a creative writing course that's been running, actually, it was supposed to run for 4 weeks. Experimental creative writing course with myself actually teaching it.
Brilliant.
And it's now been running almost a year. We'll be running a year next month because they just don't want it. The project not only works, but the project saves lives. I couldn't even tell you how many times someone on the project has said things such as, "This has saved my life. This is all I have. This means so much." Or, "I love Onside, and I love all of you." The amount of times that we hear that is priceless because it's reality.
It is.
During lockdown, normals tasted one spoonful of what people like myself who are housebound, who are disabled, who are socially absolutely cut off and isolated and rejected, quite often rejected by society because they see you as having nothing to contribute. At Onside, you have equality, you have understanding, and you have empathy. Empathy, one point of empathy is worth 1,000 sympathies. Because without the online world, which is our community, which is our social contact, we'd have nothing. Many of us would have nothing. A lot of us live alone. The only people some of us see is carers, and they come in for 15 minutes and they're gone. And for many people, the habit of calling to see other people ended during lockdown, firstly because it had to, and then people just completely lost the habit of calling. So visitors that I would have had prior to the original first lockdown, they don't call anymore. But as COVID is something that has had not only a huge impact, but has a legacy which is going to continue for many, many years. Which is why projects such as the Onside Project are absolutely invaluable to the users, and there are thousands and thousands of others in Northern Ireland, in the south of Ireland. We even have a girl from England and a girl from South Africa. My goodness, the success we've had without any funding, without any help, is unbelievable. So imagine what a little bit of money behind us could do. But there's one huge desire among the group, which is to meet in real life, even if it's just once, to have one get together, one chance to hug for real and chat for real. So I'll spend my life never forgetting 2 things. Firstly, the dark place I was in before Onside came into my life. And secondly, the absolute and utter panic that was going on within the groups when the actual project was officially ending.
Wow.
People were talking about suicide.
Oh my goodness.
About having nothing. About feeling frightened and that they will be isolated again and lonely. And I remember thinking, can't let this end. I, for one, don't want to go back to where I was. I need this. And at the time, I didn't intend becoming a part of the leadership team. I didn't intend, well, they call me the leader, but I don't call myself the leader. I am part of a very valuable team. And I'm only in the last, since January of this year, the amount I have learned is unreal. and my brain is completely active. In fact, there's times I wish I had an off switch. But compare back to 2.5 years ago when I was a walking coma. And now, if you turn around and ask me about benefit system, about where you go if you can't get help with your doctor, about the right to Martha's Rule, where you're entitled to a second opinion if you don't agree with a consultant or a doctor or any other medical one. I'd never heard of Martha's Rule before, having to learn it because it was something that needed to be passed forward to our groups.
Yeah.
The Onside Project gave me confidence. It gave me skills. It gave me abilities I didn't know I could ever possess. And I've done things that I could never have imagined doing. For example, I stood up and read out a poem that I had written about the Onside Project. And it says it all, really. But I stood in front of maybe 150 people and read that out. So it's amazing what we can do when we have support, and that's what the Onside Project does. It supports. We also, like if someone has a problem, we sort it out. Now, I don't mean we take their agency and do it for them. We don't. We find them the right people. So we're not just there for the crack and the chat. We're there for that as well. But we also have a lot of learning, a lot of support, and we've brought a huge amount of agencies together to actually support us. And it's been a fantastic journey.
Yeah.
And I think if I had to describe Onside in a couple of words, it would simply be there's no outside with Onside. Disability disappears in the Onside Project, and you become an entire whole person. Even people with limbs missing have said, I feel like a whole person here.
Yeah.
I feel completely normal. We have partially sighted people, we have people with learning disabilities, we have amputees, we have people in wheelchairs, people on crutches, people that are bedbound. Like some of us have been on the Onside Project while lying in a hospital bed. Doesn't matter where you are because of that digital inclusivity. Because it just takes a smartphone, tablet, a laptop, whatever. You can be completely involved. Project. But I'm now officially a volunteer as of the 26th of September this year, and have my lovely little ID and all. And the very next day of me becoming official, I helped with the BT Roadshow down at Portadown Library. Now, prior to Onside, I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that. In fact, when I first joined Onside, I was extremely quiet and very well behaved and was not this mouthy, knowledgeable person that you see today that is full of life and full of knowledge, full of skills I didn't know I had or could learn, and self-activated, very motivated as well when it comes. When I first got my Lenovo tablet, I didn't even know how to switch one on, because I'd never owned one before. I had no clue what it was. I didn't even realise it was a tablet. I thought, is this a laptop? Is this a laptop? But it was absolutely unbelievable that we were given those for free. The only commitment was to do the 6-week training course, which was extremely beneficial. And I, for one, know I had a really good trainer. She taught me an awful lot. And I still have my hardback blue notebook with all of her lessons in it. And I still, to this day, refer to them. Well, the warmth with which she welcomed us all, like, it meant a lot, especially when you're at a stage where you had no self-esteem, you had no self-confidence. It's a frightening prospect. I'll never forget, like, for about 2 days before my first training lesson, I was a bag of nerves and I was frightened. I really was frightened. And I was worried, what if I can't get online? What if I can't get this thing to work? What if I can't get it to switch on? And also, Jason had created a new email address for me. What if I can't get that to work? What if the email on the Zoom wasn't there? There was like 1,000 questions. And within 10 seconds of getting online, our trainer just completely made all that wash away. And you sat then for the next week looking forward to the next ones. You created something absolutely unbelievably important and special and valuable. And then we just kept going because we couldn't lose it, because it made such a difference to our lives. We couldn't let it end. Like, I didn't want to go back to that dark hole I was in before it. And I didn't want to see anybody else go. And also I knew how important it was for anybody else out there that needed the way we needed it at one stage.